Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There is a learned lady named Uzma Rumi. So she had made some objections upon the great philosopher and theologian of all times, Imam Ghazali. So it is our responsibility to answer her logically, soberly, sincerely, and sanely. So what is the problem? As we all know that Imam Ghazali is often declared as a person who denies causality, but it is not correct. So we cannot say that Imam Ghazali denied causality. So we can say that what is the reason. So as I am trying to read this article which I have written, so I am going to put this thing down so that I may read it clearly. For this reason, there shall be nothing in the video to be seen. Okay? So it will be totally blank like that. The first person who accused Imam Ghazali for the denial of causation was Ibn Rushd. He falsely accused Ghazali for the denial since he attempted to refute Ghazali, but Ghazali's arguments were so powerful that he could not do so. The point to be noted. So, realizing the power of Ghazali, Ibn Rushd ascribed false dogmas, false claims to Al-Ghazali and then refuted them on multiple occasions. For centuries, false accusations of Ibn Rushd were considered as true, but scholars began to realize that Ghazali has been misunderstood. Even today, there are a group of scholars who still accuse Ghazali, and there are another group of scholars, modern scholars, who have studied more thoroughly, defend Ghazali. So if someone is not going to see their debates, what he may do, he may keep silence or she may keep silence. Okay? So this is the reason. But I have seen that many people in Pakistan just select the old objections and then they accuse Ghazali. This is the fashion of Indo-Pak, but not the fashion of the modern scholarship. So I was reading, for centuries, false allegations of Ibn Rushd were considered as true, but scholars began to realize that Ghazali has been misunderstood and misinterpreted by Ibn Rushd. Ghazali does not deny the causal connection between a thing, say A, and another thing, say B, the causal connection or causal relation. So he does not deny the existence of the causal connection and a causal relation between a cause and its effect. On the contrary, Ghazali denies necessary connection or logically necessary connection, or you may say mathematically necessary connection, since they are not from the rules of logic. This is the thing, they are not from the rules of mathematics. So he denies that there is no mathematical connection, no logical connection between a cause and an effect. To deny the necessity of the connection is one thing, and to deny the necessity of the very existence of the connection is another thing. Ghazali actually denies Aristotelian theory of causality. That is, Ghazali denies Aristotelian connection, Aristotelian implication between a cause and its effect. In more simplified words, Ghazali denies Aristotelian causality. A logically necessary connection between two things, first called cause and the second called effect, but it does not exist. But Ghazali does not deny a contingent connection between the two. So he says that there is a connection between a cause and the effect, but this connection is not a logical connection. This connection is not a mathematical connection, but what type of connection is? This connection is a contingent connection, so he does not deny it. He replaces the alleged logical connection by the contingent connection between a thing T1, that is cause, and the thing T2, which is the effect. Al-Ghazali did not deny the activity of a contingent thing, but denies the necessary activity and replaces it by a contingent activity. If a thing is contingent, then its activity are also contingent. They are not necessary. This is the point to be noted. Ghazali was misunderstood by those who incorrectly assumed that he denies the very activity itself, and by those who did not accept a contingent activity of a contingent object as an activity at all. So there were some people who say that if there is no necessary activity of a contingent object or existent, then there is no activity at all. So this mind was refuted by Ghazali, and the objection or misunderstanding spread in the masses was done by those who considered that there is no activity if there is no logical activity or no mathematical activity, or in other case one may say no necessary activity, and I will try to say no Aristotelian activity. So one should consider that Ghazali was a supporter of non-Aristotelian activity and was a denier of Aristotelian activity, and these people considered Aristotelian activity as the only activity, and this was the point of difference between the two. Now we come to some more points to be noted. Now I will show you some more things. So once again I am going to show you what I have written, and then I am going to put down my camera, or you may say my tab, and then I will continue to read so that I may read clearly. Muslim theologians and philosophers of Ahlus Sunnah have tried their best to find the loopholes in the argumentations of Aristotelian philosophers. Not every objection they made on these Aristotelian philosophers is their belief. This is point to be noted. They made so many objections on the arguments of Aristotelian believers, but it was not necessary that each and every objection was held by the objection makers of Ahlus Sunnah as or theologians as true. So any objection as a possible flaw in the argumentation is not necessarily a belief or a opinion of Ghazali. That should be noted, that if Ghazali has made an objection or has provided any explanation, it is not necessary that he also believe in it. He has just proposed that thing just for the sake of an argument to refute the argument of Aristotelian believers or supporters. The belief of Aristotelian philosopher was that there is a necessary connection or a necessary link between a cause and its effect. What type of necessity or of necessary connection was that? Different theologians have explained it differently, but they all agree that it was a logical necessity or a mathematical necessity, or both. Even if the terms like logical and mathematical were not used, it was clear that they all meant that the necessity of the necessary connection or Aristotelian connection was exactly equal to the logical and the mathematical necessities. Okay? Al-Ghazali restricted the terms like necessity, plural necessities, and necessary, plural necessaries for logical and mathematical necessaries. We may say the term rational necessary or rational necessity, al-wajib al-aqli, al-wujub al-aqli, plural of wajib, wujubat for them. So you may say that what was the problem when Ghazali says that there is no logical necessity. He meant the refutation of mathematical and logical necessities. Al-Ghazali restricted the term mathematical and logical necessity. So one may not say that Al-Ghazali denied non-Aristotelian necessity. He only denied Aristotelian necessity, or in more explicit and strict words, logical necessity and mathematical necessity. So Al-Ghazali was misunderstood. Al-Ghazali coined another term, habit. So what is the term habit? Well, perhaps it was not coined by Al-Ghazali, but the word habit, al-ada, and the plural al-adat. This was a normal word used for nature. So one must not use the word ada in the literal meaning, but as a term for nature. So instead of tabiya, plural tabayat, the theologians used, or non-Aristotelian theologians or non-Aristotelian philosophers used the word al-ada, al-adat for the word nature or natures. So it is another confusion which I have removed. Now I will come to some more things. Now we will see some more objections, and we will continue to read. And I am just showing you the third page of my article or my essay. Al-Ghazali did not deny the laws of nature, as I have said, the connection between the cause and effect and the nature of contingent objects. What Al-Ghazali pointed at the belief and dogma of Aristotelian philosophers are given below. So, the laws of nature are neither logically necessary nor mathematically necessary. This is the first point. The second point, the respective natures of the contingent objects or beings or existence are neither mathematically necessary nor logically necessary. Point number 3, the connection between a contingent existent E1 and another contingent existent E2, such that E1 is the cause of E2 and E2 is the effect of E1, is neither logically necessary nor mathematically necessary. 4, the implication between any two contingent objects are neither logically necessary nor mathematically necessary. So Al-Ghazali did not deny the existence of did not deny the existences of the laws of nature of contingent natures of the contingent objects and the connection and links between the contingent objects and the implications between the contingent objects. One may replace the word contingent by material. Material is a special case of contingent object, since all materials are considered to be contingent. The word habit, once again I shall repeat it, the word habit, al-ada, regardless of its literal meaning, was taken generally in the meaning of nature, tabiya, plural tabiyat. This was the opinion of Al-Ghazali. So I have presented my refutation on the objection made by the learned lady. Now we come to some more typical and powerful contents. So let me say that there are some wait a minute. Now I come to the fourth part of my, and I will show you that what I have written. You may read it after pausing or making the video still. So you may see it what I have written. And then the last part, and the last part is the sixth part, this is the fifth page. In modern terms, Al-Ghazali did not deny the material implication and the material connection, but denied the formal implication and the formal connection. The problem of refutation. Now we have, I'm coming to a very important point, and I hope that the respected lady should understand it clearly what I am saying. If should, not should, then she must. While refuting an argument or an argumentation, it was customary to present all possible logical objections and not necessarily accepted by the objection maker, but the objection maker present it to show that the defender has no defense for his opinion or claim. That is the thing. And I am going to give an symbolic representation of it. For example, someone claims A is B. The objection maker holds the position A is C and C is not B, hence A is not B. Please note it down. A is not B. So this is the conclusion. But the objection maker may present another counter argument or counter argumentation. A is D, D is not B, hence A is not C. So he may present another argumentation. But he may himself believe that A is not D. Yet he presents the argumentation to show that the defender of the claim has a very weak system of arguments and argumentations that was called mana, meme, noon, ain, mana, literally meaning prohibition. What does this mean? That I am presenting an argument which I myself do not consider as correct, but your opinion is so weak that you cannot defend even that. This is the thing. So if Ghazali has said such things which are quite objectionable in regard to some minds, then they should understand that this is mana, not the original position. So we say that there are three types of answers: descending from the original position, ascending from the original position, and the original position. So while descending or dissension, we will say that this is not the opinion. While ascension or ascending, we will say this is not the opinion. The original position is the opinion, but descending from the original position is just to show that the opponent or the rival has no defense against anything, any objection, whether I agree with that or do not agree with that. So I think that I have made my point clear. Now I am going to show you some more things, and you may see it. Let us see greatest objection of Ibn Rushd on Ghazali in regard to Aristotelian causality. Please note it down. One who denies causality denies knowledge. This is the basic argument, objection of Ibn Rushd against the great theologian of all times, Al-Ghazali. This objection of Ibn Rushd is wrong and incorrect. So it is extremely wrong, it is infinitely wrong, it is absolutely wrong. So what is this objection? This objection, I will repeat it. One who denies causality denies the knowledge. And of course, he is not talking about divine knowledge. Please note it down. He is denying the knowledge of human beings. This objection of Ibn Rushd is wrong and incorrect, as I have repeated it more than 3 times probably. This objection of Ibn Rushd on Al-Ghazali would have been valid on Ghazali if and only if Ghazali had denied the existences of respective connections between causes and their respective effects. Please note it down once again, that this objection of on Ghazali would have been valid if Ghazali had denied the existence of a connection between a cause and its effect. But Ghazali did not deny the existences of respective connections, but the Aristotelian necessity of these connections. So Ghazali is not denying the existences of respective connections between causes and their respective effects. What he is denying, Aristotelian necessities of respective connections. Please note it down. So, but as I have said, that he accepts the existences of these connections and implications. What does this mean? Please let me repeat. Please let me repeat once again. That means Ghazali accepts non-Aristotelian connections and non-Aristotelian implications between the two. So, last part. Now, I hope that my handwriting is almost enough as I write in Sindhi, but this is not, I have written that thing in Urdu as well, but I always use Sindhi alphabets and script. So, the sixth part, and I am going to show you what is the sixth part, which I probably it is not shown here, but I have lost it. And this is the problem. I have lost the problem of the sixth part. No, I have found it. So this is the sixth part. You may see it. You may still or pause and see what I have written if you can read it. So they're not written in very good handwriting, but still not so bad that it cannot be read. Now I am going once again to do what I have done. Let us now revisit Ibn Rushd. Why he falsely accused Al-Ghazali. This is the problem. And some people ask that Ibn Rushd was a great scholar. He was a great scholar. But why he accused Ghazali falsely? There are several reasons. First of all, I will say, before informing any reason, that we are going to study the topic logically and rationally. So we are not going to accept any defense of Ibn Rushd just because he was a great scholar. And if you want an example, I will present myself. I myself present an example. So there is an example of Fermat last theorem, and the last theorem of Fermat was proved by Andrew Wiles, and it is a very tremendous work. No one can understand it properly unless he spend or study the subject, his proof. And I think that the learned lady might have heard it. But the Fermat has written in his book that the space is very little, and I have found a wonderful proof. But there is no such proof that exists of that kind. It is just and I have myself tried and to find a wonderful proof, but I repeatedly was unable to find it because there is no such proof that exists. The proof that exists is the only one proof, and that is present by the great Andrew Wiles. So sometimes great scholars commit mistake. They are not infallible. They are not innocent. They are not infallible. So if they are not infallible, they may commit mistakes. Now we come to say. Now let us revisit Arrushd. Why he falsely accused Al-Ghazali. First reason. As a student of logic, Ibn Rushd might have realized that a connection between two contingents cannot be logically necessary. Any relation between contingents can only be contingent, since they are neither derived from rules of logic nor drawn from it. So he could not refute the powerful arguments of Al-Ghazali, so he misinterpreted Al-Ghazali deliberately. So this is one of the possible cases. I am not saying that this is the only possible case, but it is possible. He was a human being. He was not an infallible person. Second reason, or the second possible reason, it is possible that Ibn Rushd was not able to understand the view of Ghazali properly. There are many cases when a refuter howsoever learned, misunderstand his opponent and rivals. This is a problem. Someone who is attempting to refute someone else, and that one who attempts to refute is a great scholar, even then he's a human being, he may commit error. And this is not unknown to the scholarship. So we cannot say, oh, see that Ibn Rushd was a great philosopher, he is infallible. No, he may commit mistake. So this is another reason. Third reason, or third possible reason, Ibn Rushd might have a strict definition of connections and activities and nature in his mind, which excluded contingent activities or contingent connections or both of a contingent object. So neither an activity nor a contingent connection between the two contingent objects, as according to him. That is, that he may have a very strict definition of an activity or a connection or even an implication. So he thought that if there is no logical implication, there is no implication. That was his opinion, but his opinion was wrong. If there is no logical implication between two contingent objects, then it does not mean there is no implication at all. There is no connection at all. So we cannot say such a thing. So, but maybe it is possible that due to his strict definition, he declared something wrong as according to his definition which was present in his mind. So this is a possibility. And fourth, if the definition is discarded, Ghazali cannot be accused at all. So that if Ibn Rushd has a particular definition and he rejected Ghazali's explanation or Ghazali's definition, so it is a matter of definition. And objection made by Ibn Rushd on Ghazali was due to his own nomenclature system, and that was a wrong thing. No one can make accusations based on his definition. For example, I define water as the sea water only, and then declare that that all the other waters are not water. So this is just a game of definition. You may define that anything that has four legs is a cat, then a horse is also a cat. So this is just a matter of definition. What Ghazali said, he did not deny the implications and the connections between causes and effects, but as according to Ibn Rushd, the Aristotelian connections and implications were necessary, and one who denies them also denies everything. Okay. Now the last thing. This is by his last thing. This is by his definition a contingent case. It is not a case at all. So cause at all. Sorry. So so it is possible that Al-Ghazali was targeted by Ibn Rushd just because that Ibn Rushd has another definition for cause and the word effect, and this was the Aristotelian definition, and he probably assumed that anything that does not satisfy these Aristotelian definitions of cause and effects is not a cause at all, not a cause and not an effect at all. That is the probably someone later theologians also accepted this definition, and then they used the word sabab and musabbab for many things because they accepted these sort of definitions. But we reject it and we generalize that the sabab is also a cause, and not the Aristotelian cause but a non-Aristotelian cause. Al-Ghazali did not, in the conclusion, Al-Ghazali did not deny the existences of connections and implications between causes and their respective effects, but denied Aristotelian necessity. Aristotelian connections and Aristotelian implications are proposed Ghazali denied Aristotelian necessity, Aristotelian nature, and Aristotelian implication and Aristotelian connections. But he also proposed non-Aristotelian connections, he believed in it, and non-Aristotelian implications and non-Aristotelian nature. Well, I hope that this is a very long video of 30 minutes or more than it, and I have clarified the misconception made by Ibn Rushd and then which is borrowed by a number of people, and I most humbly request her, the learned lady, to have a to revisit Al-Ghazali with more rational ideas. Finally, last comment, that there are still some people who allege that Ghazali has denied causality, and there are scholars that still they defend Ghazali. So unless you have the ability to prove that one side is correct and the other side is wrong, to provide an antithesis, you cannot just pick one of the two rival views and say that, see, Ghazali is that and this and fana and fana. But you may say that there are controversial views, there is great controversy and controversial opinions about Al-Ghazali. That is a much better position for a person who is not well versed in these details. Additionally, you should study philosophy and philosophical works of madrasas like Mebzi वगैरह, and there are some books like Hamdullah, Qutbi, Mullah Hasan, Mullah Jalal, and Qazi Mubarak. These are high level logical books. You should study them, and even some books that are not found today like Ghulam Yahya. So, and even from the Persian side you may consider Mullah Sadra. One should study all these books because before making any objection on Al-Ghazali. There are many European scholars who do not understand Al-Ghazali just because they do not understand these books. Wassalam.